Okay, we're going to talk about, first up, Lucy Powell putting her foot in it on Any Questions. Okay, so a bit of context here is that a Labour Party, the governing party in the UK, have had difficulties around grooming gangs, rape gangs. They promised big local inquiries into these gangs, and then at the end of the last Parliament, they discreetly benched that and said that the local councils could do the inquiries themselves. Because you know how much local councils love investigating themselves and finding out what they've done wrong. I bet they can't wait to get going. Now, this was a problem for Labour because it sort of increased perceptions around two-tier care. Mm-hmm. You know, I mean, too much stuff rhymes with his name for a start. He needs to never have a scandal around beer.
Yeah.
Oh, he did though, didn't he? At Durham, Beergate.
What was Beergate?
Two-tier care in beer fear near miss.
Tier
Starmer as well, Harmer. Like, he's got a lot of...
Cheer.
So into that step, Leader House, Lucy Powell, right? And she's already quite bullish. She's got strong foot in mouth potential. After Labour brought in the winter fuel allowance change, right? She said that if they hadn't done it, it would have caused a run on the pound. A run on the pound. I always think that sounds like something from an old film. And the economy would crash, right? So she's sort of economically illiterate as well. And then she's on Any Questions, right? So it's a debate show in the UK, big audience on radio, and there's a Reform member who used to be a Conservative, Tim Montgomery, who people on the left will tell you is a good guy. He's properly right-wing, but he's a decent man, right? You know, he's not a shock jock, do you know what I mean? He's not. He doesn't troll people or anything.
He's just a Nazi.
He's just that's kind of like the starting point these days. So during a heated debate on Any Questions, he asked Lucy Powell if she'd seen the recent Channel 4 documentary on grooming gangs, and she responded, "Oh, we want to blow that little trumpet now, do we?" And then she also said, "Oh, let's get out that dog whistle." Now, can we just have a moment's silence for her fucking stupidity in saying that? Wow, that little trumpet. Now, I don't know about you, but I almost at this point had a little bit of sympathy for Keir Starmer, because you just think, like, you've got issues around this area anyway. The one thing you wouldn't legislate for is one of the most senior people in your party going on the radio and just going, "Whoa, here he goes, eh?" The old eye roll, going in with his grooming gangs. You go, well, there's just been a massive Channel 4 programme, and the Labour Party seemed to want to talk loads about adolescence, which was a drama. Yeah. I mean, is it indicative that Labour have got problems here? You know, do they find it harder to look at this problem square in the face?
I think Labour are really nervous because there's several constituencies, particularly in areas like the Northwest, which are heavily Muslim, and they are worried that if they go and criticise this type of behaviour, that it will potentially alienate these voters. So I think they really are between a rock and a hard place, because you look at some people now getting elected in that area, and they're getting elected, dare I say, expressly Muslim issues.
So she apologised, sort of. She said that she regarded child exploitation and grooming with the utmost seriousness. I mean, I always think it's funny when they apologise and say, well, but that's not how you did it. You literally accused him of blowing his little trumpet. And she added, "I'm sorry if this was unclear." I don't think it was unclear at all. I think it was very clear. It was that she was being presented with a challenging point that Labour had sort of brushed this under a carpet again, and that was inconvenient to her. So what she tried to do was a sort of straw manning, really. She was trying to make it difficult for him on the panel, and I've been in that situation myself on debates, where she was trying to make him sound like a racist for bringing it up because she didn't want to talk about it.
I don't like the term dog whistle because it's a way of shutting down conversation, and it's a way of shutting down particularly difficult conversations like this. So she can say, "Oh, dog whistle," and that's it. That's the end of the conversation. We're not going to talk about it because you're a racist and an Islamophobe for bringing this up. And to be fair to her, that was a tactic that used to work really well. And that was actually a tactic that meant that we didn't discuss this.
Yeah, because everyone would shit the bed and just gone, "Oh, he would have then been probably spluttering. Even 3 years ago, he might have been spluttering to kind of cover his tracks in a way. I just think that there's certain phrases that have just been like overused to the point of irrelevance, like gaslighting as well. You go, what about good old-fashioned manipulation? Do you remember that? Now, just going back to Lucy Powell.
Yeah.
if this had been a BBC presenter, even you'd sense they might have been suspended. You know, like it was that callous in a way, given the gravity of the subject. And you know, you also think if it had been about the systematic grooming and rape of young black girls or Jewish girls, would she have said it? Would she have had the fucking balls to say it? And I want to live in a world where people can say the wrong thing and apologise and not always have to be sacked, but. You know, it is weird to see Labour ministers, people like Louise Streeting out going, look, it's just one of those things. She misspoke. She's had a moment. And you go, well, the Labour Party did spend the whole of the previous 40 years saying that anybody that did anything wrong should get sacked. So, I don't know, maybe something more serious than just an apology here.